Everybody talks about jerk baits, A-rigs, flat side crank baits, jigs, but nobody talks about a shaky head in the wintertime. And that's exactly why you should be throwing one. When bass get cold, their strike zone shrinks. And the great thing about a shaky head is it's going to allow you to put a subtle worm right in their face and keep it there for a long period of time. And that worm's natural action makes for an easy meal. Let me show you the components I like to use. So let's talk about the components that I like and the difference, the subtle differences or not, that I like for a winter shaky head. Now, for me, there's really going to be two sizes. Now, I can fish, all the way up to, a 3/8 ounce. If I feel like they're out there deep enough. But my go-to, my starting weights when it comes to a shaky head is really going to be the 1/8 ounce and the 1/4 ounce heads. Now there's a bunch of good heads out there on the market. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even know who makes this head that I'm using today. I will tell you, one of my favorite ones are the owner center pins, especially the football kind. Like I said, I'm not really sure who makes this. I think I know, and what I'll do is I'll look it up and I'll put links in the description for everything. We don't do memberships and that sort of stuff, Patreon, because we like to be all inclusive. We like to teach everybody everything that we can push out there to you. So if you don't care, go down there and click on that link. It's the Tackle Warehouse, and it'll take you to pick up anything that's in any of our videos, and bookmark that for us. And the QR code right here, if you're on your phone or whatever, go ahead and scan that and bookmark it on your mobile device. It helps us out. It doesn't cost you a penny. It's the best way to support us. Now, I like a screw lock keeper. I know there's been a lot of people talk about the hookup ratio, and I've never had a problem, with the screw lock keeper and with the hook set. If you want to, you can get the ones that just have the barb and you just come down on the head. To me, I'm a screw lock keeper guy. I really love the ones, I don't have any right now, and I don't remember. Again, I'll put this in the link in the description, that has the free swinging screw lock keeper on the hook. Now, let's talk about the different types of worms that I like to use. This is the 4-inch Finesse. Hits in a ghillie suit. Any sort of green. I like a little bit of color, especially like I'm on this lake, I'm fishing for smallmouth. So it kind of reminds me of a green pumpkin magic, which is one of my go-to colors. Got a little bit of everything in it. But when it comes to these this time of year, I don't want a ton of tail action. So that's why I'm going to use a 4-inch. Not only because I'm fishing for smallmouth on this lake, and sometimes you downsize the worm, but also because I don't want a whole lot of action swaying right now because the water temps are cold. So I want a really dead stick style of action. So the 4-inch is going to be better for that if I'm going with a really finesse size bait, because the hook is going to come up farther into the bait, restricting a lot of that tail action. Next up, and probably one of my go-tos on a shaky head, is a yum dinger. I don't know how many people actually throw stick bait style worms on a shaky head, but I'm telling you, if you're not, you're really missing out. This is, I think, green pumpkin sparkle. Again, very close to that green pumpkin magic. And what I like about these, they're a little more durable. I don't care much for like a Yamamoto Cinco on these because you're going to go through them a lot. But the Yum Dinger is still very soft, as you can tell, but it's a little more durable than the Yamamoto Cincos. I like them for some other things. But this bait it's also a slower sink because it doesn't have quite the salt content in it. So it's going to stand up a little bit better and not quite fall over as quickly as a Cinco will. But today, the bait that we're going to be using, and I really like this bait, is the Damiki Stinger. And this is the 4-inch version, and this is Green Pumpkin Magic. Now, What I like about this, again, it's the 4-inch. We've got a nice little shake to the tail, but that shaky head is going to come just a little bit taller, so we're going to restrict how much action that has. The other thing I like about it is it's a short, girthy, take a drink, geeks, girthy little worm. So it's a big bite in a small, small package, and it's super subtle. So now we're going to rig this up, and you know, the big key to this is just start it in the dead center. Right there, you'll see me come around and just start screwing that thing up on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get it all the way until we are flush to the head. Of course, I'm going to hook everything, including my glove. And I don't know if you can see this, but I've got a seam that runs down that bait. So I'm going to bend it. I'm going to look and see where that hook's going to go through and just barely come out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right through that seam. And you can make it really as weedless as you want to. Me, I'm going to leave it just where I can feel that point right there. Good and straight. I think that's a big key to rigging any worm, good and straight. Larry Nixon one time said, I don't care who you are, I bet you can't rig a worm as straight as me. And I guarantee you I can't rig a worm as straight as Larry Nixon, but that's always my goal, is to rig a worm as straight as I can possibly rig it. Now, let's tie it on. All right, so today we're going to go quick and simple. We're going to go fast to get back on the water. We are going to tie a pit seam knot. We're going to come through, double up, put about 5 times. We're going to come through that loop at the top. We're going to tighten it down. Force it just a little bit. Snug her up. Take our K9 braid scissors and snap that tag in. And now we're ready to talk about rod, reel, and line setup. I know it is time to upgrade your boats, or it's getting to be time to upgrade your boats. And with all the sales that are going to happen from now through later in the year, make sure you go check out my discount code, HANK10, because it's a pretty good discount code for the Ionic batteries. Listen, my entire boat is powered by Ionic batteries, and you can see I'm cold. This boat don't stay inside in a nice warm place. I wished it did, but I ain't got that kind of money. So this boat lives in the elements. It does have a roof over its head, but it lives in the hot, cold. And these batteries now have lasted us for over 3 years. They've done a great job, including the small profile battery that is designed to be able to stick into a rod locker. Comes with its own charger, a 16-volt battery for your live scope. I love it. It's great for you kayakers. It's great for you 10-boat guys, small boat guys. I'm telling you, go get it and check it out. Hey, go check them out. Like I said, everything in this boat is powered by Ionic lithium. So this rod is the HD Stunner from Fitzgerald. This is their JDM. Now this is I think the first gen, so they've updated it, but this is their JDM rod. This is a 7'3", medium heavy, fast. And like I said, man, this is an incredible rod without that super pricey price tag that most JDM stuff comes with. I've got that coupled with a Lew's Custom Pro Speed Spool, one of my favorites right here. And of course, you can tell line, we've got 10-pound test K9 braid on here, to 100% fluorocarbon, the Pro 100 100% fluorocarbon from K9. We got an 8-pound test on there for that. And I do have a discount code right here. You can go check out and go to K9 and pick up some of that line. You better go try out that JDM silk line that they've got. It is freaking crazy smooth. So the location I'm going to fish, it's going to be places where I'm going to find rock transitions. I'm going to look at those high percentage areas. I'm going to look at those middle of the creek, first thirds of the creeks, all the way out to the main lake. love to fish bluffs with this right here. I think this is deadly on the bluffs this time of year. Now, I'm going to stay in tight to the bluffs when I'm fishing the shaky head on them. Otherwise, I'm going to 45-degree everything. In other words, what that means, if you don't know, I'm going to keep the boat out, kind of like this right here, at a 45 on this. I'm going to fish banks like this, those 45-degree banks to those 90-degree banks. Those are going to be the things that I look for this time of year. And I'm going to look for those a little bit steeper drops on some of those points. Sometimes you can have a long tapering point, but you can find that steeper drop on one side or an indentation, and that can be a key spot on the spot for you, especially if there's a little bit of extra rock or maybe a brush pile down there. So those are the types of places that I'm going to be looking for. When it comes to docks, I'm going to be looking for those deeper docks, those marinas. I'm going to be looking for those marinas that's got something like a point sticking out and it's near something so that it can transition from overhead cover to underneath structure. 2s and 3s when it comes to wintertime. If you've got just rock, that can be okay. But if you've got rock and wood, that's much better. If you've got rock, wood, and a point, that's the golden trio. That's the sort of stuff you really want to key on, and you want to make sure that you're trying your best to find any of that you can, because you're just going to raise your percentages and you're going to get bit a lot quicker. Now, as far as retrieves go, it's pretty simple. I'm not going to do a whole lot of hopping with this. My favorite shaky head retrieve, and I swear it works year round, is I'm going to make that cast out there. Now, as I'm making that cast, I'm going to make it to the edge of visibility. So in other words, we can probably see about 5 to 6 feet on this lake right now. So I'm going to cast it at about where I know that's going to be in about 6 foot. I'm going to let it drop down. And I'm going to start just dragging it real slowly, letting it sit there. And I'm going to shake the slack in my line because I don't want to move the bait. I just want to make the bait just barely pulsate. And then I'm just going to drag it a little bit more. After that, I'm going to let it sit there. I'm going to give it a very small, in the wintertime, hop. A lot of times that will get the bass's attention. It'll get them to react when that bait just hops up and falls down. You lift back up, boom, you got a mouthful of bass on there. And I'm going to repeat that. So shake a little, drag, shake a little, hop. That simple. Now, everything is better the lighter line you have on your rod in the wintertime. I can't stress that. If you've got the conies, I don't. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm using 8-pound test line. And but I should probably go down to 6 on this. So, but if you can do it, you should do it. The lighter line, the better during the winter time. So as far as the hook goes, make sure your drag's set right, or if you're like me, back reel. I'm trying to get better at mine. I'm trying to get better with that because I know they're going away from the back reel stuff. Otherwise, set the hook, keep your rod tip down when you're fighting a fish, keep him from jumping. Most of the time, they're not going to do a whole lot of that during the winter time, but just get them to the boat. Try not to get your hands wet, get your net out, or, if you have to, reach down there and grab him by his big old mouth. And that is really it to a wintertime shaky head. Bluffs are your friend. The steeper banks, trust me, with shaky head this time of year, are your friends, especially if they've got chunkier rock on them. Now, if you want to check out that video we were talking about earlier, make sure you go check this out right here. Tell me if you have any luck fishing a shaky head during the wintertime. Otherwise, questions, comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell. Be part of that 100% watch squad. And you geeks rock.